guys, welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. My name is Tom Tompkins, the host and founder of Vehicle Visionary, and today we're going to be reviewing this 2013 Jeep Wrangler Sport, also known as the Walrus. But before I get too far into the video, I'd like to tell you about today's video sponsor, which is Lifetime Visionary brand, who sells the Pump Monster t-shirt that I'm wearing, really made for bodybuilders. But whoever wants one, you can pick one up. They come available in t-shirts very similar to what I'm wearing. They're available in multiple colors, also bodybuilding tank tops. The link to purchase is in the description of the video. So let's get started on taking a look at this Jeep. The 2013 Jeep Wrangler Sport is motivated by a 3.8 liter V6, putting out 285 horsepower and 265 foot-pounds of torque. It is mated to a 5-speed automatic transmission, but also comes with an optional 6-speed manual transmission for those of you who are the purists who enjoy shoving the clutch in and letting it back out to change gears. Now, this particular Jeep is modded out a little bit. As you can see, it is sitting on 35-inch Pro Comp off-road tires. It has a Skyjacker lift kit on it, so it's not your stock average Jeep. Obviously, the black color sets it off tremendously. What does the inside of the Jeep looks like? Let's take a look and I'll show you what the interior looks like. Now, as you can see, everything is modern here in the 2013 Jeep Wrangler. You've got the gas gauge, the speedometer, and the tachometer, and of course everything else is here, including the radio, all kinds of different features that you can use to navigate your way through the radio. But it's not only there on the dashboard, but also right here on the steering wheel. Of course, as you can see on your screen right now, you can reset everything on the radio, change the volume, change the station with the switches on the back of the steering wheel. The cruise control is located on the right-hand side of the steering wheel. And of course, you have all of your other options here on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. Blinker is on the left. Windshield wipers and all of the controls for running your windshield wipers and windshield wiper fluid are located on the right-hand side. Then you have the shifter right here in the middle, and then your controls for going into four-wheel drive, whether it's four-wheel drive high or four-wheel drive low, right there on the left-hand side. Also a USB port right here. You have your hazard lights, traction control on or off, and actually a button right here if you're going downhill. Not completely sure what that's for, but if you wanted to descend a little bit slower, I think that's what that's for. Obviously, the controls for your air conditioner right there. And by the way, the air conditioning vents are nice and large. Everything can be moved around at will. Now, one thing I do think is kind of strange here. Look at this. Here's the air conditioning vent. It's all one molded piece. You can actually rotate that all the way around. How interesting is that? Don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Just kind of an interesting quirk of the 2013 Jeep Wrangler Sport. Now, upon opening the center console, it looks like you don't have a whole lot of room, but actually that is just the tray that sits on top of a lot more additional space. And there is the additional space. You have quite a bit sitting underneath the tray that we were just looking at. So a lot of good interior space available for storage right here. And also in the back of the Jeep, as you can see on your screen right now, when you open the back door of the Jeep and open the window, then you have this extra storage space not only on top, but also the compartment underneath, which is really intended for the top, for the screws from the top. All those parts and pieces have their own specific little place to go. But I would imagine if you wanted to use that for something else, it would be just as easy to do so with something that would fit in there, whatever that may be, but it is intended for the top and all of the accessories that go with that. The back seat, of course, is a 60-40 split. Nice amount of room, probably not the greatest for somebody who has a decent amount of leg height, but as you can see on your screen, you can actually fold both of the seats down. I've only folded one down at this point, but you can fold both seats down, the 60-40 split seats, and increase your cargo space if that's something you need. Now, what should you know if you're thinking about buying a 2013 or a similar year Jeep such as this one? Now, obviously this one does not have power locks or power windows, and that's okay. It'll come optional with that if that's something you want. But the main things that I talked to the owner about concerning this Jeep, the only downsides, he said, it does have a rough ride. And I asked him if he had ever driven it with the stock suspension without the Skyjacker kit and the 35 tires on it, the 35-inch Pro Comps. And he said that he drove a stock Jeep very similar to this one, said it really didn't ride that much differently. In fact, he noticed that the stability of this Jeep with the larger tires on it actually gave it more stability. He's also driven this in snow and ice and said it did fantastic in four-wheel drive. It also drives very well on wet roads, not sliding around, not unstable. Tremendous benefit. The power lacks just a little bit, even though the V6 under the hood is producing 285 horsepower. When you have a taller tire, you're adding gear to the equation, so it's going to be slower to get moving. But once it's moving, it's going to have more top end than it does right out of the hole. Not that you're necessarily going to be racing your 2013 Jeep Wrangler Sport, but if I was behind the wheel, you never really know what might happen. So overall, I'd say if this is something you're thinking about buying, you're probably going to be making a really good choice. Just be forewarned, the ride is a little stiff, but the owner of the vehicle said he's used to it, so that means you can easily get used to that, no big deal. And who knows, you might not live in a city like we do, where every single street is just one big pothole. So I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch today's Vehicle Visionary. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you hit the like button, leave me a comment and let me know you were here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to change the color of that subscribe button and join the Vehicle Visionary family. Thank you, folks. Have a wonderful day.